Thanks for joining us today as we honor the winners of the 2023 CPE Influence Awards. I'm Suzanne Silverman, Editorial Director of Commercial Property Executive, and on behalf of myself and my team, welcome. Before we begin, I'd like to thank our sponsors, including our awards provider, Christo, along with American Express, IntelliHot, Rentley, Arbor, Resource Furniture, and Yardi Systems. I also want to be sure to mention our social media hashtag CPE Awards 2023. Be sure to include it with all of your posts about today's event and your awards achievement. In addition, we'll be sending you a link to the recording after the event. And now I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker and the inaugural winner of the CPE Influence Award for Lifetime Achievement. We introduced this award as a means of honoring and recognizing those who, during the course of their careers, have given of themselves, making significant contributions to the commercial real estate industry to reshape it, strengthen it, and take it into the future. Our first recipient has ensured that real estate has representation and policy that affects the industry. During the course of 42 years in the industry, Jeff DeBoer founded the Real Estate Roundtable in 1997 to give real estate this voice in national policy, and has since been a driving force on Capitol Hill. In fact, the Hill news source has recognized him as one of the top lobbyists in Washington for 6 consecutive years, in a list of individuals described as the players at the top of their game, known for their ability to successfully navigate the Byzantine and competitive world of federal policymaking. Today, the Real Estate Roundtable represents the leadership of the nation's top 150 private and public real estate ownership, development, lending, and management firms, as well as the elected leaders of the 19 major national real estate industry trade associations, which represent nearly 3 million people employed by the industry. He leads industry advocacy efforts in areas ranging from tax policies like capital gains, like-kind exchanges, carried interest and opportunity zones, to clean energy tax incentives, building performance standards, and other energy and climate issues, as well as capital issues, homeland security, public-private partnerships, conversions, and affordability. In addition, Jeff chairs the National Real Estate Organization, a 20-member real estate trade association coalition focused on industry communication, advocacy, and diversity efforts, and the Real Estate Industry Information Sharing and Analysis Center, which is dedicated to enhancing communication between the industry and federal policymakers on terrorism threats, building security, and major incident reporting. He's a founding member of the steering committee of the Coalition to Insure Against Terrorism and co-chaired the advisory board of the RAND Corporation's Center for Terrorism Risk Management Policy. Jeff also served on the advisory board of Washington's Smithsonian National Zoological Park and Conservation Biology Institute. He has appeared on numerous major television news programs, published editorials in the Wall Street Journal and USA Today, and has often been honored for his influence and tireless work for the industry. Today, we add to that the inaugural CPE Influence Award for Lifetime Achievement. Jeff, it gives us great pleasure to name you the inaugural winner of this award for all the contributions you've made to the CRE industry. And the award itself should be arriving in your offices shortly. And I'll hand things over to you for your keynote. Thank you.
Well, thank you very, very much, Suzanne, for that kind introduction. I appreciate it very much. And good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be with you. Great to be with you today virtually. It's the way of the world these days, and I hope everyone's having a good beginning of 2024, believe it or not. As you said, I have devoted the last 42 years of working in Washington on behalf of commercial real estate. And it's very gratifying and very humbling, frankly, to have this work recognized this way and to receive from you the Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you very, very much. But you do know that you selected Jeff DeBoer from Rapid City, South Dakota, and not Kalen DeBoer from Millbank, South Dakota, right? All I will say, if you don't understand that joke, is roll tide. But seriously, please understand that despite this recognition, I don't intend to stop doing what I do and have done for 42 years anytime soon. I look forward to continuing my work in this exciting, challenging, smart, and fun industry. all in Washington, to help ensure that national policy relating to the industry continues to be fair, effective, and productive. I believe the industry is entering a period of increased national policy risk. For example, liquidity and valuation issues need greater attention by policymakers. Serious focus is called for regarding the federal role in property and casualty insurance. New rules regarding greenhouse gas emissions and resiliency are coming, and continued focus is needed to be sure that these rules and their requirements are realistic. Clearly, enlightened national policy action is also needed to encourage the production of all types of housing. We also know that much of the 2017 tax law will expire at the end of 2025. As that happens, existing tax laws relating to owning and investing in commercial real estate will be targeted for elimination, and new tax ideas will be proposed that could impede real estate ownership and investment. Mixed in with all of this will be proposals concerning remote work, acceptable building energy sources and access to the grid, converting underutilized buildings into housing, and much more. Debates on these very complex, risky issues are coming, and they're coming fast. My job, working with my team here and with many others, is to focus on these policy risks, gather the facts, prepare the analysis, develop sound messages, and make sure that those messages are delivered to Capitol Hill effectively. How we navigate through these coming debates will be very challenging, but understanding how national policy leaders look at the commercial real estate industry is instrumental. The bottom line to the story that I'm about to tell is that during my 42 years in DC, the industry itself has changed significantly. But at the same time, an even greater evolution has occurred in the way that the industry has worked with Washington and has been perceived by Washington policymakers. When I started out 42 years ago as a young real estate tax policy lawyer with a full head of hair, by the way, the commercial real estate industry was dominated by powerful local or sometimes regional private developers, owners, and managers. Tax subsidies were critical for real estate investment. So was the ability to over leverage assets with readily available credit from newly deregulated banks and savings and loans. The real estate industry was so opaque that one did not know about developments that might be occurring on the next corner over. I witnessed the way that official Washington viewed the commercial real estate industry at the time and how those views impacted policy results themselves. To help illustrate this, let me give a couple of examples. In the 1986 Tax Reform Act, it was a very bad law for commercial real estate investment. It had very detrimental impact on values and investment returns. Many say that the 86 bill caused countless bankruptcies and lender failures. How did this happen? Well, it happened because the industry was splintered along geographic lines and along product type lines. Industry sectors did not support each other. Urban owners didn't work with suburban owners or rural owners. It was a mess, frankly. The splintered industry resulted in a very confused and incoherent message to Washington. And the result in this hugely important piece of legislation was hundreds of pages of transition rules, hundreds of pages of retroactive tax increases, and a very bad recession for the entire industry. Then a few years later in 1989, Senator Patrick Moynihan said to me in the hallway of one of the Capitol office buildings, "Jeff, you always talk about the real estate industry. I've got news for you. There is no industry." And then in 1993, Senator John Chafee said to me, while I was talking to him about some issue, he said, "Jeff, does everyone you own also or represent also own a sports team?" Clearly, Washington viewed the real estate world as many unconnected individuals seeking to enrich themselves regardless of community wants and needs, and not as a true industry. Due in part to the abrupt tax and banking policy changes beginning in the late 80s, mid 90s, the industry itself began its own significant evolution. It slowly became less reliant on tax subsidies. Liquidity, the availability and sources of credit and capital became more apparent and more important, slowly came to dominate things, in fact, and the industry became much more transparent. where surprise acquisitions or developments are extremely rare. By the mid-90s, the industry transformation was in full swing, and an opportunity came to me to help rethink how commercial real estate was presented in Washington. Together with a handful of industry leaders, including Bob Larson, the then head of the Taubman Company, Randy Roll from Zell's Equity Group, CBRE's Jim Didion, and one of the biggest developers and political thinkers in the industry, Catellus' Nelson Rising. I worked with them, and we began to shuffle the deck, if you will, on how the industry could better work together and be more effective in Washington. Taking the best aspects of an organization called the National Realty Committee that had been led by Steve Wexler, who is a brilliant Washington player, but who was departing to head NAREIT, where he sits today. And we added a few important new ideas and aspects to the National Realty Committee playbook, and we created the Real Estate Roundtable. Our mission: change the way Washington perceived the commercial real estate industry and make sure all asset classes and entity types had a stake in industry policy setting. We wanted to flip the Washington perception of real estate from one centered on individual self-interest to one that emphasized the positive connection that real estate has to job growth, local budgets, educated and safe communities, and better opportunities for everyone. And we wanted to unite into one voice the discrete types and uses of income-producing real estate. We thought that if the industry leaders worked side by side, the leaders of the industry's many trade associations, and if we analyze policy from the assets perspective out, as opposed to from the owner's perspective in, we could erode the policy debating differences between asset types and entity classifications. We also wanted to up the quality of our policy positions. In essence, we wanted to be viewed as knowing what we were talking about, not just reacting to proposals. We wanted to be seen as well-prepared, fact-based, common sense participants in the policy debates that go on in Washington every day. Slowly but surely, working together with all of the industry trade associations, we changed the narrative from the old world to a new world where there is a commercial real estate industry in the eyes of Washington policymakers, where the focus of industry-related policy discussions is predominantly on growing, healthy, income-producing real estate asset values and their benefit to communities. Suffice it to say, I'm extremely proud of the active role I played in changing the industry's narrative here in Washington. This big picture and accurate narrative of the industry is the principal reason that commercial real estate today is viewed as a force in Washington, one that rarely, if ever, loses. The facts speak for themselves. Since the industry shifted the narrative, we've achieved some pretty amazing policy results. In one bill, we deferred the tax on canceled real estate debt, exempted real estate professionals from the crush of the passive loss rules, and modernized the REIT rules to expand pension fund investment. These foundational policy changes that a lot of people have forgotten saved many struggling owners at the time and helped to propel the industry into the public markets. In 2002, following the 9/11 attacks, our industry successfully developed and pushed to enactment the Terrorism Risk Insurance Act, TRIA. This legislation revived a marketplace that was at the time dead in the water, causing severe job and local revenue loss. During the great financial crisis, following endless meetings with Fed officials and others, bank supervisory regulations were modified to encourage the extension of temporarily impaired loans, and the then stalled commercial mortgage-backed secondary market was restarted through the enactment of a program called TALF. More recently, and this demonstrates the strength of our industry across party lines, both the Trump 2017 tax bill and the Biden tax law reversed, I should say, preserved every significant real estate tax-related law. And those were laws that many of us had worked over the years hard to reflect the economics of real estate ownership and investment and not be viewed as subsidies. Perhaps the most unbelievable high-wire act by our industry occurred in 2022 when the EB-5 immigration investor law was brought back from the dead. To this day, it's hard to believe that an expired and extremely controversial immigration program was cleaned up and reinstated into law, beating all the odds. Nothing in the immigration policy area has been done before and certainly not since. I also want to say that I'm proud about the establishment of an online platform to better connect our industry with service and product providing businesses that are owned by women, minorities, veterans. More needs to be done in this area of expanding opportunities, but the platform called Creds that we pioneered is a unique and valuable start. These were each significant achievements, of course, but I'm not stupid and I'm smart enough to know that these achievements are not solely mine. They're due to a lot of different people working in different teams to analyze issues, develop strategy, create and deliver understandable messages. Obviously, the Real Estate Roundtable leadership and members deserve my deep thanks. The Roundtable leadership has, from day one, provided me with exceedingly supportive guidance and broad empowerment to make decisions. Working on behalf of the Roundtable membership has been a terrific experience. Likewise, a big shout out goes to my colleagues on the Real Estate Roundtable staff, a creative, solutions-oriented team, one that consistently finds answers to complex questions, that communicates effectively with the industry and with Congress, is a joy to work with, and always makes me appear smarter. There's countless others, colleagues at many other industry trade groups, friends, consultants, policymakers with whom I've joined forces over the years. Thank you all for your friendship and support. As I noted in my opening statement, opening comment, the real estate industry is entering a period of heightened policy risk, in my opinion. Left alone, Washington could make seriously detrimental decisions relating to this industry. It's very important that everyone recognize that to ignore Washington in the coming years is to increase your business risk. On a separate note, I believe that as citizens, we can all do better individually and collectively. We need to encourage sound, fact-based policy action on big, important national issues. We can do better thanking and supporting those policymakers when they work together to tackle big problems. And likewise, we shouldn't shy from calling them out when they don't, regardless of political party affiliation. I'll end by thanking my wife, Joan, and son, Mitchell, who are super supportive in every way possible. I also want to acknowledge my late mother and father, a telephone operator and B-52 tail gunner, who raised my brother and I in Rapid City, South Dakota, to believe that regardless of one's education, wealth, gender, ethnicity, no one was better or worse than we were. We were taught that success would come through hard, honest, respectful work, that we could do anything if we believed in our goals, were passionate about our work, and shared any credit. That's what I've tried to do over this very exciting, rewarding 42 plus years. That's what I intend to do going forward. And thank you again, Suzanne, and everyone for this very humbling recognition. I look forward to seeing you all down the policymaking road at some point. Thank you again.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff. Thanks for those important words for the industry, as well as the background on there's so many numerous policies that you've worked on over the years, and I've always enjoyed working with you myself as well. So we're very.
And by the way, you provide a significant, really an unbelievable service to people, getting the message out, making sure that they understand the risks and the opportunities and the challenges that are going on, you know, not only in the market, which you clearly do all the time, but on policy issues and development here. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you very much. We'll certainly continue to work with you and get that word out. And now I will turn things over to our Editor-in-Chief, Jessica Fiur, to announce the winners of our Influence Awards.
Thanks so much, Sue, and congratulations again, Jeff. I really don't want to follow you after that speech. I'm like wiping my eyes, but we're so honored that you could give our keynote and that you could be our Lifetime Achievement Award winner. And now on to the CPE Awards. This program, which was formerly the Distinguished Achievement Awards, has been going on for many, many years. This year, we've had the most entries ever, and you all certainly didn't make it easy on our judges. So be very proud of yourself for winning. I'm going to be joined in the announcements by Executive Editor Therese Fitzgerald and Executive Editor Paul Rasta, and I'll turn it over to Therese to start off our awards.
Thanks, Jessica. Our first category of awards is Best Development Mixed Use. The bronze is awarded to Scottsdale Entrada Banyan Residential. The judges liked that it was an office mixed use with retail in an opportunity zone. Are you able to hear me? They just started construction in my office. Yes? Okay.
We can hear you. Yes.
You can hear me. Okay, I'll keep going. The silver winner is West Edge, Hines. The judges were impressed with the interesting architectural design. And the gold award goes to the Wharf, Hoffman Madison Waterfront. Judges said it was a massive redevelopment effort, which included nearly every product type, and it was all made possible by creative financing. Now let's move on to Best Development Office. Bronze is awarded to River South Stream Realty Partners. Judges said it is a great example of A+ office product in Texas. Silver goes to 345 North Morgan, Sterling Bay. Judges were very impressed by the common areas, design features, and amenities. And the gold goes to 9000 Wilshire, Skanska USA Commercial Development. Judges noted the interesting use of art and open space to create a unique environment. Next up, Best Development Industrial. The silver winner is 4120 East Sain Road, Dalphin Industrial. Nice project, said one judge. And the gold award goes to Knox Logistics Center, Trammell Crow Company. Judges like the economic and community benefits of the development, as well as the innovative design features. For best lease, we have just 2 golds. The first is awarded to 360 North Green Boston Consulting Group. It's very impressive how they developed and repositioned, one judge said. And judges also gave a gold to the RMR Group. They leased a redevelopment repositioning space, which is not the easiest thing to lease, another judge said. Our next category is Best Investment Transaction Single Property. The silver goes to 450 Union Street, Ariel Property Advisors. Judges said the transaction was very, very competently executed. And the gold award goes to Beyond Global Management. Judges said the financing was very unique. Anytime you're recapitalizing a project that's coming out of foreclosure, there's a serious skill and tact involved in that. The next category is Best Investment Transaction Portfolio. There's one gold award, and it goes to Ariel Property Advisors for the Dunn portfolio. Judges liked that it was affordable housing and a social impact investment. On to Best Financing. Bronze goes to Berkadia. The judges found the submission very compelling. Silver goes to Alliant Credit Union for a very creative financing. And the gold award goes to Walker and Dunlap. Judges thought they did a good job laying out the complexity of the transaction, which had a lot of moving parts. Now we move to Most Effective Property Management Program. For the bronze, North Park Center, Hiffman National. They did a nice job on a tired old strip center, one judge said. Silver goes to X2 Stream Realty Partners. Judges liked how they assess tenant needs and put a hospitality-oriented service package around those needs. And the gold award goes to the Ferry Building, Hudson Pacific Properties. One judge said, I was very impressed with post-COVID high occupancy percentage in both the retail and the office space. Next up is most effective repositioning redevelopment plan. The bronze is awarded to North Park 34, Arden Logistics Park. Judges found this to be an awesome historic office to residential conversion in Detroit, which is really hard to do in the real world. Silver went to St. Martin Night Fest. Judges liked that they were able to push rents and occupancy in Texas. And the gold award goes to Book Tower, Bedrock. Judges said the product had clear goals and a clear strategy with good execution. Okay, back to you, Jessica.
Thanks so much, Therese. I'm going to turn the next part over to Paul.
Great, thank you very much, Jessica. And we're going to turn next to some design awards, starting with mixed use. The Gold Award this year goes to L&M Development Partners for Marcus Garvey Extension Project Phase 1. And in the words of the judges, they did a lot with affordable and supportive housing. Also, the closed-loop geothermal system is novel, and the social mission is compelling. In the office category, the Bronze Award for Best Design goes to 295 Fifth Avenue, a Tribeca Investment Group project, which is a very interesting historic preservation and redevelopment initiative, as the judges pointed out, and a very thoughtful integration of the old and the new. Next is the Silver Award, which Columbia Property Trust received for 80 M Street. And this is a compelling use of mass timber in an office setting to create a unique, distinctive office environment, according to the judges. And the Gold Award for 425 Park Avenue goes to L&L Holding Company, which the judges observed is a visually impressive building with design features addressing tenant needs. And last but not least in the design categories is the Gold Award to Riverpoint Logistics for Riverpoint Commerce Park. And as the judges noted, this was an impressive project with significant environmental remediation, open park space, and an open plan. Next, we turn to the amenities category, and the Bronze Award this year goes to Hudson Pacific Properties for Bentall Center. The judges felt that they had the most complete program to increase tenant engagement. The silver goes to KBS's Accenture Tower. And in the words of one of the judges, I cannot begin to tell you how difficult it is to get LEED Gold. And this year's Gold Award goes to BXP for the General Motors building. The judges thought that they had great taste from a design perspective and had good partnerships with service members. For most innovative corporate strategy, Marcus & Millichap is awarded the bronze this year. They acquired the companies and talent necessary to expand their book of business beyond brokerage and into capital markets. Alliant Credit Union gets the silver. They balance providing financing to real estate investors while also generating appropriate returns. And this year's Gold Award for Innovative Corporate Strategy goes to MCS for the interesting accounts of efforts to refine and improve service offerings in emerging market segments. And as one of the judges said, I wish I could work with them honestly. In the ESG category, The bronze goes to BXP for their ESG program, which offers ambitious environmental goals and efforts to recruit and retain a diverse workforce. The Silver Award for Best ESG Program goes to Hudson Pacific Properties for Better Blueprint. The judges like their strategy leading to carbon neutrality and a framework for promoting diversity from top to bottom in the organization. And this year's Gold Award goes to Link Logistics for its nationally recognized ESG initiatives spanning both environmental and social issues. For Most Effective DEI Program, Greystone is awarded the bronze. The judges liked their intrapersonal initiative that was both internal and external. The Silver Award goes to Walker and Dunlop for the focus on bringing women and minorities into the industry, which won praise from the judges. And the Gold Award this year goes to Unispace. The judges cited the company's initiative for employees to foster an organic DEI program, as well as measurable results in terms of women and minorities in leadership positions. In the Most Innovative Technology category, Atrius, an Acuity Brands company, receives the silver. The judges cited a technological advancement in their management system. And the gold for Most Innovative Technology goes to Butler. The judge's comment was, it's pretty impressive. They're doing something that's different from some of the other energy monitoring you might see elsewhere. And with that, let me turn the program back to Jessica Fiur for the next group of awards.
Thanks so much, Paul. So moving on to Broker of the Year, one of our silver awards is Alvin Mansour from Marcus & Millichap. The judges liked that he had strong deals, but they also appreciated his community service and pro bono work. Our other silver is for Randy Cooper from Stream Realty Partners, and the judges liked how he grew his team and built out a national service platform. And our gold winner is Adriana Barr from Bercadia. I'm sorry. The judges were very impressed with a long career, and she had great highlights in 2022. I will also say she was our MHN, our sister brand winner for Broker of the Year, so amazing work. Our Property Manager of the Year Gold Award goes to Mackenzie Kovarik, the RMR Group. And quote, she seems well loved by her tenant community. That speaks to what type of work she's doing. In our Rising Star category, for silver, we have Karen Guthrie from BGO, and the judges said she had strong performance in a male-dominated world of industrial real estate. Another silver goes to Vincent F. Rend, Columbia Property Trust, with the judges saying he was the project manager on a very complicated restoration. And another silver goes to Amanda Matus for Hudson Pacific Properties, with the judges saying she's a working mother, she's leasing retail in multiple difficult West Coast cities. And our Gold Award for Rising Star goes to Brittany Rivo, Gregory FCA. And she is an accomplished professional that showed individual professional success and commitment to mentoring a team of junior professionals. For Humanitarian Award, which is a new award this year, the Silver Award goes to Stream Support Foundation from Stream Realty Partners. The judges liked that they were raising money to support their team who were affected by natural disasters and contributed money or sick time to employees who needed it. And our Gold Award for Humanitarian goes to BGO. The judges said BGO did a nice job talking about how their efforts were employee-driven. For Development Company of the Year, Bronze Award goes to Biomed Realty. The judges liked their real understanding of the life science industry and were impressed by the size of their portfolio. Silver goes to Link Logistics, and the judges cited they liked how the company responded to the evolving logistics development landscape. And gold for Trammell Crow Company, where the judges stated it's difficult to overstate the impact of Trammell Crow on the real estate industry. And our final award of the year, Executive of the Year in the industrial category, goes to Luke Petherbridge for Blink Logistics. The judges said, it's the scale of the operation that made it stand out for me with leadership of a large and complex industrial investment platform. I want to give a big congratulations to all our winners of the year, and a special thanks to our judges. I'll unmask them now. Thanks to Jay Epstien of DLA Piper, Katrina Yin from JDS Development Group, Dustin Reed of Clemson University, and Ryan Severino of BGO. Additionally, I'd like to thank our sponsors, which include American Express, Arbor, Christo, Intellihot, Resource Furniture, Yardi, and Rentley. Thank you again. And I want everyone to be on the lookout for our 2024 Influence Awards. We'll be opening submissions later this month. Feel free to reach out to me with any questions about these awards or next. And congratulations again. Thanks so much, everyone.